Joshua, the doctor here, has some questions for you.
Sure.
First of all, I know you said, not to drop names and stuff. You're also pretty good friends with Tom Morello, correct?
That's right, yeah. He was actually my guitar student.
Yeah, I was going to say, I heard stories that he actually learned from you. How did that come about? You guys went to college together?
No, well, when I was going to school, I used to teach guitar. And in fact, when I graduated college, that's the last time I ever taught privately. Mm-hmm. And I don't teach privately at all, and I haven't. But when I did, I had a student named Tom. And it's funny because he even said this in Guitar World magazine a few years ago. He called it speeditis because he couldn't coordinate his two hands together. And so, I watched him play, and I really, made it so that he was able to really just focus in and synchronize his hands. And he said it was a musical epiphany, and it was really nice. I mean, Tom's a great guy, and I think he's everything I'd ever want to say about a student, because for me it was never about Mikey. I never told people this, you should do this because I do it. I just used to study other great guitar players and tell my students, look at this, these guitar players only have a few things in common, and this is what I've seen that they have in common. And but yeah, Tom, he's had a really good career, and it's great. And I'm very happy that I can be part of it.
Speaking about picking techniques, though, I mean, anybody who has not seen Micheal Angelo on YouTube, go to YouTube and put in Micheal Angelo Batio, and watch him play this double guitar. Now, the tapping technique is incredibly interesting, and it's unbelievable. But the thing that floors me is you actually pick both left-handed and right-handed. So have you devised some kind of, obviously you have, if you were able to correct Tom's picking technique, and it's had to be something that you used, how do you do that? It floors me.
Here, the cool thing, at least, and this was by sheer luck, I'm left-handed. I was born lefty. But there's, for every 100 right-handed guitars, there's maybe one left-handed guitar.
True, so true.
So I learned how to play right-handed because that was I had the most choice. It's kind of like a piano. They don't make a left-handed piano. You learn right in, that's it. And I played keyboards. So I played keyboards starting at 5 years old and guitar starting at 10, right-handed. And I remember seeing this in Chicago. They used to have a public television station, and they used to have concerts. One weekend it might be the Allman Brothers, next weekend it might be a jazz concert. And I'd watch this every weekend, and they had this guy named Rahsaan Roland Cook.
Oh, yeah.
The jazz saxophonist.
Sax player, yep.
Yeah.
He ended the show playing two saxes at the same time. And I was a kid. I was like 12 years old, and I looked at it and I went to myself, I'm going to do that on guitar, man. I'm going to play two guitars. And so I had it in my head from the time I was a kid. And then as I got older, I really realized, and especially, seeing people like Paul McCartney and realizing there were lefty players out there, and I got to finally play left-handed guitars. I figured out, I realized I could do it, that it was really my natural way to play. So that's kind of how it all evolved.
So you were classically trained in piano?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you started...
not when I was 5, but when I went to the university, by that time I'd been playing piano self-taught my whole life, but I'd taken guitar lessons. But then I studied classical piano. In fact, in college, they said I could be a classical pianist. I was really good at it.
Yeah, I would believe that. Yeah, it's obvious that that you could definitely be.
But I loved it too. But I never thought it was for rock. It's not it's not really a main instrument for rock music. I always like music with guitars better. But I love keyboards, but I like them with guitars.
Right? Yeah. It's not the rock and roll instrument. You're absolutely right. It's the sitting in a tuxedo instrument. That's
But not a lot of...
I love keyboards in the background, and when you hear the nice string sound or cool organ sound, I like it. But the music I love to listen to is more guitar oriented.
And the music, obviously, that you play is more guitar oriented. You have a bunch of solo albums that have come out. Is there anything else that you're working on right now with coming out with another album, or even thinking about getting another band
Yeah, what I've kind of done over the years is use players for different types of things. I've been really fortunate. I get to do guitar clinics. I've done a lot of concerts this year. I'm even able to do a one-man concert with my backing tracks. But I just got finished doing 3 weeks in Europe and a week in India with a band, and we'll do shows like, for example, say Elliot, the owner of Dean Guitars on bass, Carmine on drums, myself, and we just get different musicians, to fill. Let's say in India, if they want me to go out there and tour, I find out who's available, and then I pick my buddies, and we all know the songs, so we go out and play, and it works really well.
That's great. That's great. So, other than that, are any big recording projects coming up? Anything like that?
I'm working on a new CD. I released one late last year, and then earlier this year, in June, I released a DVD. It's a remake of my original Speed Kills DVD, and so I should have a new album out by next year, by the end of next year. Because with all the touring, it takes about a year for me to finish it. Because we'll do the drums, and then I'll be on the road for a couple of weeks, and I'll come home, and then I'll start recording it, and so. But it should be out in 2011.
And is that at Angelo.com? Is that the website?
Yes.
And you can.
And then I've had my own label for a long time, and we have major label digital distribution, so it's everywhere. Amazon, iTunes, every major one you can think of, I'm there.
That's fantastic. And the DVDs are also major label, or the DVDs are at Angelo.com?
Yeah, Angelo.com, and I work with a company in California called Metal Method, Doug Marks, and he's like one of the originators of the instructional video, literally. He's the man, and he's been in business a long time, and he's a great guy.
Well, that's great, Michael. I can't thank you enough for stopping by and taking some time to talk to us. By all means, anybody out there, get a copy of this DVD and check out Micheal Angelo at Angelo.com or any of the Facebook. Any of the other places that you want to check him out. He's fantastic. Watch that YouTube video because it floors you. I'll see you at the NAMM show, my friend. Okay.
Cool. Thanks, Rich.
Oh, thank you, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Micheal Angelo. We are going to head into a commercial and come back, and I'm going to watch this Micheal Angelo Batio video. Stick around, folks. Heard it on the X.